Let's get into some business and Newsfeed PM. South Africa's mining production grew slightly, driven by an increase in chromium ore. However, it fell by 2.4% compared to the previous year. Platinum group metals and gold were the largest negative contributors. On a seasonally adjusted monthly basis, mining production fell by 3.9% in December, following a revised flat result in the previous month. Now, mining output increased by a meager 0.4% over the year in 2024. The mining sector has struggled to boost local GDP, hit by weaker production, lower export volumes and lower prices for precious metals. Now, let's find out now how the future of the sector can be improved using technology and innovation with Loyiso Tyira, the chairperson of a Technology Innovation Agency. He joins us now for this conversation. Now, chairperson, there's been a wide-ranging conversation, debates even in the sector around whether South Africa's mining sector is a sunrise or sunset industry. Looking at the state of the industry in this current state, where production is low, profits are subdued, and jobs in some cases are being cut, do you think it can still be improved and be a key contributor to our economy?
No, definitely, Muteo. First, thank you for inviting me to the interview, and good afternoon to your listeners. Definitely, I think it can. For a very long time, we've been talking about beneficiation of our minerals, but we've not been doing it that well, to an extent that countries like China, if you had listened to Minister Gwede Mantashe when he was speaking at the mining indaba, he said basically when you talk about chrome, which is one of our key and strategic minerals, China has stockpiled it to a point where they almost have more chrome than we do on the ground, even though as a country we had 82% of these reserves. So I think it's key for us to be able to beneficiate our mining minerals, but not only that, it's also key that we innovate in terms of the technology that we use to safely extract these minerals and do so efficiently.
Let's take the conversation there. You touch on China. There's also India in terms of components for chips and things like that that are needed in the technological age in 2025. How can South Africa position itself in terms of providing those minerals, but also through beneficiation, making sure that we can make those components ourselves and sell it to the rest of the world?
What TIA has been founded for is to really bridge the gap between research and development. And what we've been doing over the years since we've been founded has been really funding the research output from grassroots technologies. And I think we need to do more of that, where we focus more on funding local technologies as opposed to purchasing finished products, especially within the ICT and electronics sector that you are referring to, because that's where most of the innovation is happening. So yes, we need to do more in terms of what we are doing. We need to have a tier that is better funded, so that even both the private sector and public sector funded research can be commercialized, so that it can be products. But we also need uptake, because in some instances, we have people who developed innovations in South Africa, and some of the biggest known innovators in the world actually come from this country. You talk to Elon Musk, looking at technologies like PayPal, AWS. These are all people who came from South Africa, but we've not given them the support that is required. So once we have these people who are providing, we're coming up with these technologies, we need to then give them support to make sure that the products that they produce do go to the market and we do consume them as a country, instead of over-relying on imported technologies, which we can see right now can even be a risk to the country with the threat of sanctions from the United States and others.
Looking then at some of the research you've done already, what would mining need in South Africa? Because we've had low production on the energy side. Of course, it was largely the Eskom part of it, but a lot of the miners have built their own energy supply. How can a young innovator sitting here watching you talk about the agency position themselves to make sure that they better improve South Africa's mining sector?
Look, within the Tyira portfolio, already we have quite a number of innovations that we have funded. If you look at mining, they use quite a lot of water like all the other industries. We have funded quite a number of innovations in that space that do with in terms of water quality and green technologies. We have funded quite a number of technologies. I think the other one is Stone 3 or something like that. We took them, we exhibited with them in the mining Indaba. They're doing quite a lot of work in terms of using IoT to better the mining production and the output. So all those that have those innovations that they think they have, they can come to Tyira. We've got our website, which is tyira.org.za. To apply for assistance from us. And if if they come with technology that can really make a difference within the mining space, we are there to support them with our partners in mining. So we are open for business, and it's one of the things that we are really focusing on, mining, because we do think as part of our decadal plan that mining, manufacturing, and green energy is one of our focus areas, and we want to support that.
Now, you've recently talked about that mining Indaba that you attended as the agency. Are you seeing enough innovation? I know at some of these events you can see people put their technologies on display. Are you confident that we are at a place that we're competing with the rest of the world?
South Africa is not. We don't lack innovation. We don't lack the people who can innovate. I think the only thing that we lack is a systematic approach on how we can better coordinate those innovations and make sure that they find expression both in industry, even us as government, to make sure that when those technologies actually do come to the pipeline, we fund them, we recognize them, and we make sure that we consume them ourselves before we look outside. So I don't think we have a lack. If you look at the history of South Africa, we've really come up with serious innovations, but we have a lot of IP leak because we don't really, I think we have not done that well in terms of really supporting our innovators. And I think that's the message as the new Tyira 2.0 that we are coming with, to say that we really need to look locally first, support those that come with local innovations and build local technology, and consume it. We need to make sure we partner with National Treasury and other government departments to make it easy for South African innovators not only to be supported in terms of taking their research and ideas into products that we can pilot, both in government, in partnership with private sector. But once those technologies have been proven, we need to find an easy and systematic way to make sure that we consume those technologies, and we put heavy reliance on South African based technologies rather than international based ones or imports.
Mr. Tyira, what exactly are we talking about when we're talking about the innovations and tech needed in mining? What skills as well should young people should be looking out for in order to contribute in that space?
So look, in the production space, obviously we're talking about mechanization in the mining. We are talking about green energy in terms of electricity that we spoke about. We are talking about water management. Water is a big thing in mining. We're talking about treatment of the waste that's coming out of those minings. And those are the type of technologies that we've already assisted. We've got a group of technology, I think about 2 or 3 that I'm aware of, that we have funded, that are treating the waste that comes out of mining and putting back a cleaner water that can be used for irrigation. We've got a Stone 3, which I mentioned before, which works in the mining plants to make sure that we've got the production. Others also using IoT to make sure that if there's breakages within the plants in the mines, those can be easily detected. and fixed on time, in real time, to make sure that we've got better production as well. So we've got a slew of technologies that go into mining. Obviously, in the communication space within mining, we're talking about autonomous vehicles, which means we're talking about network in mine, 5G, communication within mining space, so that we can have autonomous vehicles that would improve the safety record. So those are all the things that we can support to make mining safer and to make production more efficient, but doing it in a responsible way so that we do not lose a lot of jobs. And those that would lose jobs, we train them in other things so that they can be able to earn a living after the mining. But in order to be competitive, as we are talking, production is low, we really need to get the point where we adopt technology and we use, especially South African technology. The companies that operate have come up with quite a lot of technologies, but usually more than not, these technologies get commercialized outside of South Africa, which is what I call IP leak. And it's really because I think we tended to, in the past, not to really support our innovators, make sure they're well protected in terms of their IP, and make sure that we put more reliance on being able to consume our technology. And to such an extent, we've lost quite a lot of innovators to the rest of the world. And some of the biggest tech you can think of in this world came from South Africa.
Loyiso Tyira, thank you so much for your time and talking to us there about the need for innovation and technology in the mining sector, chairperson of the Technology Innovation Agency.